Hi everyone. I just want to see if anyone comes up first. Hopefully my comments will appear. Sharon has said that there's usually a lag, so we'll deal with that as and when it happens. So if you'd like to let me know if you're here or not, so that I could maybe bring someone through, hopefully. As I say, if you can say hello, it's telling me my comments should appear, so I'll sit and wait for a minute to see if I get any comments. As I say, there might be a lag, so if you have written anything and I'm not seeing it, it's not that I'm ignoring you. There is a lag. I see I have one person watching. If you could say hi to me, it would be really appreciated to see if my comments is coming up. Well, nothing's coming up yet, so. Right, I wonder if I say hi to myself. It'll come up. Yeah, right. So comments should start coming up. As I say, I'm just sitting waiting to see if anyone comes on. I'm just going to stop my dog from chewing his toes. Oi, missus, stop. You wait till my back's turned and then you start, don't you? Now stop it, good girl. Apologies for that. Okay. Sharon, are you there? I'm going to get my phone and I'm going to message Sharon. Hi, I'm seeing 2 people on. Can someone say hi to me in the comments, please? It will be really, really appreciated. Just so that I can see that the comments are coming up. And if anyone wants a reading, just say. And if I can bring someone through for you, I will. Okay, Anne Francis is watching. Brilliant, thank you. As I say, if you could say hi, Anne, I would really appreciate that. I'm just messaging Sharon to see if she's there as well. Okay. Be helpful if I spelt it right, wouldn't it? Right. Okay, that's me just messaged Sharon, and she's just seen it by the look of it. So fingers crossed, we'll get somewhere in a minute. As I say, if someone could just, as I say, message. I'm seeing that there's 2 people watching. I'm seeing that Anne Francis is watching. Yes, do you remember I said this may happen? Okay, no, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead with that because I do have a lady hovering. Excuse me. And people are commenting. Right, give me 2 ticks then till I go in at all. I'm going to go into the group on here and hopefully read the comments there. Yeah, the 6 comments. Right. That's what I'll do. I'll speak on there and I'll look here for comments. Right. So Anne Francis, hi. Michelle Hopper, yes, please for a reading. Perfect, thank you. Anne Francis again, hi. Michael Mitchell, apologies. Hi, lovely. It's Sharon here. Can't see you on my phone. Only Michael's. No, that's fine. Okay. And Michelle Hopper, hi. Perfect. Thank you so much for doing that. As I say, oh, they're starting to come up now. Okay, right. That's fine. Right, I'll keep this handy just in case. Right, as I say, I do have a lady hovering. Okay, and this lady, I want to say, was only in her 50s, maybe early 60s at a push. I want to say, she's telling me she's ages with me, and I'm late 50s. So yeah, late 50s, maybe early 60s. But she had a very young, not just appearance, but character, if that makes sense. She was always young at heart. She was always, she had like a childlike playfulness about her, if you can understand that. And she's making me feel like a carefree child. That's the only way I can describe it, because that was her nature. It was like carefree. She didn't. Okay, I'm not quite sure if I'm breaking up here. If not, I'll change to my phone. But let me know if you're seeing me breaking up. Okay, as I say, this lady had a carefree nature. She didn't really care what other people thought of her. She was herself throughout. And I'm not saying that because she was carefree and everything else she had a carefree life, because she didn't. She had a hard enough life, put it like that. But she was always... It was the way she coped with it. People admired the way she coped with things, because that was, as I say, that was just her. She got on with things, and she didn't allow it to fester. She didn't allow it to sit and weigh her down, if that makes sense. I'm just going to check my phone again, because my comments aren't coming up here. Right, where are we? Okay, so if anyone can understand this lovely lady, as I say, she's got such a, I don't want to say a positive outlook. She just had an outlook that you were, you know, she didn't change everything negative into a positive. She wasn't like that. But she just had a way of looking at things like, okay, it's happened, get on with it, if that makes sense. Right, okie doke. So that would be Sharon. Okay. Right, as I say, this lady, I want to say, she's making me very, very aware of the back of my belly button, but just below. So I feel this lady had, I don't know if womb problems or endometriosis, you know what I mean. I can't say the word. She definitely had problems around the womb area. That's what she's making me aware of, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm not clear yet whether it was a cancerous condition or anything else, or if that's what passed her over. I don't know, but I do know that she suffered quite a lot in her life with that sort of area, if you can understand that. Okay, this lady has given me, I want to say it's like a dirty blonde coloured hair, and it was quite short, and it was at the time, do you remember a few years ago when we used to get not the rollers, but the heated roll gun, I can't think what you call it either, and sort of had her hair all going back. That's the hairstyle that she's given me, sort of all just, you know, what do you call those, heated like a heat brush thing, and as I say, and it's all just going back, and it's really a lovely hairstyle for that era, if that makes sense. That's the kind of I know what she's talking about. My friend has an op recently. Okay, and yes, my best friend. Thank you. She's also given me the name Helen. Helen popped into my head. I don't know if that's her name. I don't know if it's someone around her or what. But this woman used to, yeah, as I say, I'm being brought back to her problems, but she doesn't want to focus on her problems. She wants to focus on getting over the problems. And what she's making me aware of, Sharon, is there's something in your life at the moment that you need to focus on to get out of, if you can understand that. That sounds a bit, I don't know, wishy-washy, willy-nilly, if that makes sense. But she's given me this distinct impression of you needing all your focus to get out of a problem, or I don't even want to call it a problem, to be perfectly honest, but there's a situation you're finding yourself in, and if you focus and use all your focus on that, it will basically dissolve, if you can understand that. Your boss was called Helen. Thank you. So yes, you understand that. As I say, it's sounding very, I don't, frivolous, willy-nilly, if that makes sense. It's like I'm not getting to the root of the problem, but she's actually telling me that it's no one's business barring yours. So that's why she's just given me, she's given me a way for you to get out of it rather than giving me the problem, if that makes sense. And what she's saying is, basically, it's all about focus. It's all, if you just, okay, fingers crossed I'm reconnected. She's saying if you push everything else to one side and completely focus on that we'll call it a problem, completely, and give 100% to it, it will dissolve, it will disappear, and it will be no longer affecting you as such. So basically that's and she also, the word she's given me is to count your blessings. Do you understand that? To count your blessings, because sometimes you do tend to concentrate or focus. The word focus is back again, so it's quite a thing with her, but focus on the negative rather than the positive, if that makes sense. So she wants you to focus on the positive to get yourself away from that negative thinking. But she wants you to count your blessings. And so basically think of the good things rather than the bad things, if that makes sense. So I'll leave her love with you. No, I'm not going to leave her love with you, because she's talking about playfulness. She's talking about, I thought she'd step back, but she hasn't. She's talking about a playfulness that you had. It was like this playfulness got you through, the both of you, through, I don't know if it's through a job she's talking about or through a situation, but she's saying the ability to laugh about things was big where she's concerned, and the ability to laugh about things she wants to bring back into your life, if that makes sense. So now I'll leave her love with you. That's what she wants to get across. I'll leave her love with you, and thank you so much for working with me, Sharon. Right, while I was speaking with that lady, and I don't know if I'm still with you, because while I was okay, right, it's like I've been struck dumb. I was about to open my mouth and speak, and my mind went totally and utterly blank. And I have a feeling that it's this elderly lady that's came in. This elderly lady, I don't want to say she had dementia, but she did forget. I mean, just because people forget doesn't mean that, as I say, they've got dementia or Alzheimer's or anything else. And I don't believe she had that, but she did forget. She repeated herself quite often. But it was like every time she repeated herself, it was like a new conversation about it, if that makes sense. So as I say, I think it was just naturally, as she got older, she got forgetful. As I say, there was no Alzheimer's or anything else like that. So this elderly lady, and I want to say she was in her 80s, okay? I want to say she had a frame with... Now, why she's telling me this, I don't know. But she had a frame with 2 back legs and 2 front wheels. Why she's telling me that, I don't know. Okay, right. She's telling me it. She used to have to lift... She's telling me oh, God. She used to have to lift the front up to be able to walk. Okay, no. Lift the back up to be able to walk, to push on the wheels, if that makes sense. And she's talking about a time she fell over. This is why she's telling me, she's describing the walker. As I say, the 2 back legs didn't have wheels, the 2 front did. And for some reason, she had to lift up the back to be able to push for the wheels, if that makes sense. But she fell over one day, and the whole thing went with her. And that crumbled her confidence in the walker, if you can understand that at all. I'm going off again. Fingers crossed I'm back on again. So if anyone can understand this, I've got this feeling that she's coming in to speak to you, Sharon, because she came in before the other lady had disappeared. It was like she brought her in, if that makes sense. I might be wrong. So if anyone can understand this lady, as I say, she was forgetful, but she used to... Again, this lady had a good sense of humour, because even if she realised that she was forgetful, because she would... Right, how do I explain this? She would say something 2 or 3 times to you, and she wouldn't remember saying that before, but she would remember the answer that you'd given her. So she used to, as you were saying it, she used to be repeating it, if that makes sense. And she's saying, this is a big memory. This is a big memory, your Aunt Dory. Okay. This is a memory that you still laugh at. You still have fond memories, is what she's saying. And she's actually saying you're saying that she's your aunt, but she was saying you were more like a friend to her. Does that make sense? She was more like you were more like a friend to her rather than her being a friend to you. And she's just saying how proud she is of your own spiritual growth. She had a belief, and I want to say in this sort of thing, although she wasn't very vocal about it, but she did have a belief in a time when you did keep your mouth shut about it. You didn't, as I say, vocalise. Hi Eva. So yeah, I also want to say, as I say, right, my circle leader, Kit Murray, was like this, but didn't see her in the nursing home. Okay. As I say, she's just talking about she's actually giving me bingo numbers and a bingo pen. That's really forefront of my head is like sheets and sheets and sheets of bingo tickets and a bingo. So this lady, excuse me, in her day, she could do, like, I don't know about you, I can do 3 or 4 bingo, maybe 6, but this lady had like 12, 18 bingo tickets. So this lady was very, very quick minded in her day, is what she's trying to tell me. I don't think it's the fact that she liked bingo, it might be. I don't think it's that. I think she's trying to tell me that she was very quick in her day, if that makes sense. You used to say you were a natural, yes. And I'll tell you why she said you were a natural is because she was a natural herself, and she would, you know, she'd sit and I wouldn't say meditate, but it was more like sitting with the spirit world, if that makes sense. She would sit quietly in her own energy, in the energy of spirit. This lady knew exactly. She's telling me, actually, she knew exactly what your future would be, and she's saying she's very, very proud of you. So yeah, we are going back 30 years for Kit. Okay. As I say, the sitting in the power was she's just saying, remember the time she used to just sit quietly with her eyes shut, and she used to say, I'm just resting my eyes. If you can understand that, that's when she was sitting in the power. If you can understand that. And people used to say, oh, she's sleeping. She wasn't sleeping. She wasn't sleeping at all. She would turn around and say, I'm resting my eyes, and laugh about it. She actually was sitting in the power, calling spirit in and whatnot. So, yes, she was a fantastic medium. She certainly was. Okay, she's talking about self-acceptance, Sharon. At some point in your life, recently, I want to say, or someone around you is having problems accepting themselves, and she's saying that is the most important thing that you could ever do for yourself, is accept yourself, flaws and all. That's what she's making sure that I'm saying, flaws and all, because acceptance of yourself is an acceptance of everything in your life. What she's trying to say, and I think, in fact, I don't think, I know, she's actually said this before, if you can remember back. Acceptance of everything in your life is paramount to your growth. And by accepting things as and when they happen, instead of blaming people, she says too many people blame other people for where they are. And she's saying acceptance of yourself and accepting the fact that you are to blame for things in your life. And yes, that sounds, how do I explain it? She's saying that we all have to be aware of ourselves, if that makes sense. And I'm not explaining it very well. And she's actually, I wouldn't say she's telling me off, but because I'm not saying it the way she wants me to say it, she's getting quite abrupt with me, if that makes sense. But she's telling me that it came across, when I said that, it came across that I was blaming ourselves for our things but what she's trying to tell me is, we are where we are in life through what we done yesterday is where we are today. So therefore, make your today good and make sure that it takes you to where you want to be tomorrow. If that meant, yes, thank you. I got there eventually. That's what she's trying to say. Okay, I've been blanked a lot. Yeah, blamed. Okay. Yes, she was abrupt. She said, because I wasn't explaining it right. It was like, woof, 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 and I'm thinking, okay. But I got it out in the end. As I say, she wants, and that's what she wants for you to do, to make your tomorrow, but you have to start today. She's saying by making your today, you had to start yesterday. So if you started yesterday, so if you didn't do much yesterday, it's your own fault that you're nowhere today. That's what she's trying to say, if that makes some sort of sense. So to make a good tomorrow, you have to make a good today. That's God. I got there eventually. So yeah, and that's her message. That's basically her message. So yeah, she's quite abrupt, and she'll get that message across one way or another, and that's what she's done. So she's just saying to make a good tomorrow, focus on today. She keeps going back to that word focus. So I believe this woman would focus. So yes, I will leave her love with you, and thank you so much for working with me. Wow, that was a bit. So hang on. I have an illness and some days I can't do a lot. I believe that she was aware of that, but she's also saying mentally to put yourself into the future that you want, if that makes sense, because she's very bloody minded is the word, if that makes sense. So yeah. Right, as I say, she's gone back to the spirit world. She's got her message across. It's like said, done, gone. And I believe that was that her in real life. I also just got the name Dorothy, if you can understand Dorothy. And it wasn't Dot or Dotty, it was Dorothy. So yeah, that's what she's just given me. So I'll just say I'll leave her love with you, or I'll leave her regards with you more than love, if that makes sense, because that's what she's told me. Right. Okay. I have a gentleman here. And again, I don't believe he was that old. I want to say early to middle 70s. Okay. And before he retired, in fact, before he retired, he drove a lorry. Okay. But what I want to say is he didn't retire when he worked. We're losing connection again, sorry. Yeah, he worked on. He didn't retire at 65, 67 or whatever when he was supposed to. He worked on. Okay. So when he finally did retire, he didn't actually live to see much of his retirement, if you can understand that. And I want to say there was a situation just before that he passed that him and his wife, so his wife's still here, he's not here, was purchasing like a smaller house, if that makes sense. And it was just after they purchased it, just after they moved in, that he passed. He had a heart attack. He'd given me a very clear heart attack. If anyone can understand this, please. Open for a message. Would love a message, please, if drawn. Okay, so if anyone can understand this gentleman, okay, he was so looking forward to his retirement. He'd put money aside so him and his wife could travel, him and his wife could go on holidays, you know, get the things in life, a new car and that sort of thing. And as I say, they'd planned to and they actually did sell the larger family house and moved into a smaller house. So this freed up money, and they were going to, as I say, travel, go on a cruise, do this, do that, and everything else. But it didn't work out like that. As I say, within weeks of them moving into the house, he passed. So if anyone can understand this at all, I'm seeing him sitting in their larger house, not the small house, because I'm asking him what that's like. But he's showing me the original family home. That's the one with the memories. And he's showing me a chair in front of the fire. And there was like 2 chairs in front of the fire, and that was his chair and that was her chair. And I want to say they were nice, big, comfortable, reclining chairs. Why they're showing me the big 2 comfortable reclining chairs, I don't know. But each one was round a fire, and I'm trying to look at the fire, and I can't work out if it's an open fire or something like one of those pretend ones that's got flames, because I'm seeing the flames, but I'm not seeing around about it, if that makes sense. Okay. I'm also seeing an old-fashioned record player. Now, this record player was in like a wooden box, and you lift the lid up, and it had the record player at one side, and it had the LPs and that down the other side. And I believe the speaker was in the front of it was like a unit on legs, if that makes sense. And this was his pride and joy. He absolutely loved sitting listening to his records of, he's given me the name Val Doonican, he's given me the name Jim Reeves, he's given me sort of middle of the road sort of music, bordering on country, I think. So yeah, and he just enjoyed sitting, relaxing, listening to his music. So if anyone can understand that at all, again, I'm running behind on the messages, so I'm going to have a look at. There is a lag. There's quite a lag. Okay, can understand, but not the lorry. Okay, Eva. He gave me He did give me the picture of quite a big lorry, you know, like a 40-ton truck lorry, that sort of thing. So I do believe that if he didn't drive the lorry, which I believe that he did, but if he didn't drive it, he certainly worked around them, if that makes sense. No, you can't take it. No, that's fine. I think you're still with me. It sounds like my nan and granddad. Sorry. Okay. Whoever's coming through, they're coming through for a reason. Okay. As I say, he enjoyed his music. She was very much one for keeping the house. She was the type of lady who would get up in the morning, whether the hoovering needed to be done or not, she would do the hoovering. If the dusting needed to be done or not, it was just a daily routine. She would do her housework. You know, she'd make the beds and she'd do this and she'd do that. She'd clean the bathroom, and this was her daily couple of hours in the morning. And this is what she'd done. I'm seeing her actually with a scarf on her head, done up under her chin. Okay, a dark blue scarf, and it looks like it's got a yellow stripe going down it for some reason. And she's given me a blue like waterproof mac is what she's wearing. Or he's given me what she wore, if that makes sense, because I don't believe that's to say that she's passed. She might be, but I don't believe she's passed. He's showing me this. He's also showing me a rose bush in the garden. He was quite good with his plants and things like that, and he quite often, as I say, went out on a Sunday afternoon and cleared up his garden and tended to his plants. He enjoyed that. He worked so hard in life that he was glad of the rest and relaxation of a weekend, if that makes sense. Okay. So it looks like I am with you again, Sharon. Okay. Right. Okay. I'm asking, not Nanny, she's passed, but rose bushes, yes. Okay. I'm not sure, as I say, if this lady, I believe, the way he came through to start with, and he showed, as I say, I just believe that she's here. He hasn't told me that, so she might have passed. I don't know. But I do know this gentleman's come through with a hell of a lot of inner strength, a hell of a lot of love, to be perfectly honest with you. And if you're getting all these messages, you are definitely needing some sort of support, and they're giving it to you. It's not just a matter of a spirit coming through and talking to you. As I say, that's 2 or 3 on the trot now. So there's something going on in your life where you need spirit to let you know that they're there, if that makes sense. I want to say, have you been dreaming lately? And have you been seeing spirit in your sleep? Because I believe that they're coming through in your sleep to give you healing. He's given me the word healing, and he's allowing me to see, like, in his bed, if that makes sense. So I believe that they're coming through in your dreams to heal you. And I don't believe it's so much physically, but emotionally and mentally. There's something they know I'm not feeling okay. There's certainly something going on that they believe that you need extra love and extra support at the moment. Yeah, you see spirit all the time. Perfect. Okay. Can I ask you, he's talking about trust. Can I ask you, are you going through a period of doubt at the moment? A period of doubt in your abilities, in your, not your abilities as such, but in confidence, if that makes sense. It's like he's talking about trust. You need to trust yourself more, he's saying. You need to trust yourself more. And it's like he's just saying that you're doubting yourself. There's a very big doubt that you're carrying at the moment. You're very good at what you do, he's saying, but it depends on the way you're feeling on the day, and that affects your confidence. No, it's people. Okay. As I say, I'm explaining it to the best of my ability, if that makes sense, the way I'm picking it up, and that's what I'm picking up at the moment. So yeah, I just feel that he's telling you to take care of you, a little bit of body care, a little bit of mind care, mental care. You know, that's what he's wanting for you to look after yourself a little bit more. You've been asking for their help. Well, I believe that they've come through to give you some help. So definitely, just to let you know that they're there. So I'll leave his love with you, Sharon, and thank you so much again for working with me. Fingers crossed this time we'll get someone for someone else, if that makes sense. So I'm going to specifically ask for someone else at the moment, because I think they've got their message across that they are with you. So thank you. Right. Okay. Right. I have a beautiful young girl come in, and I mean she is absolutely beautiful. She's got high cheekbones. She's got long blonde hair, and it's naturally blonde. In fact, it's virginal white. Okay, and she's got high cheekbones, and her cheekbones was something that she loved about herself, if that makes sense. Excuse me. She wasn't very tall, but she was quite petite. She wasn't very tall, and I want to say she was in her 20s when she passed. Okay. She's given me such a dry area here that I believe it was something around about her throat area that she passed with. Okay. I'm actually beginning to think that she took herself over to the spirit world. Okay. I'm just going to stop this phone. Apologies. She took herself over to the spirit world. Okay, right. Oh. She's given me a feeling of total loneliness. That's how she felt when she was here. And she just wants someone here to know that she finally feels she's come home. She finally feels accepted. She finally feels, how do you know when you find other people who accept you totally for who you are, and you've never felt, it's okay, when I do that it's spinning, saying Okay, so my aunt, my mum's sister. Okay, perfect. Thank you so, so much. This lady was absolutely beautiful, inside and out, but she never felt that she belonged. If you can understand that, she never felt like she was. She never felt like she was accepted. That's the only way I can describe it. She just didn't feel like she belonged here. But she just wants to put it across that she's happy, she's content, she's feeling the best that she's ever felt, and she's that's what she wants you to know, that she's not. I can't even put it into words the way I'm feeling. I've just got this overwhelming feeling of love, contentment, peace. Yeah, and that's how she's feeling now. It's like she's finally come home and she's finally happy, if that makes sense. And that's the message she wants to put across. But I'm asking her for evidence for when she lived here, okay? And she's given me, excuse me, she's given me a golden retriever dog. This dog was, I want to say, wasn't much more than a pup. It wasn't a full-grown dog, and it wasn't a pup. So it was like just before it got to adulthood, if that makes sense. Still that baby look about it for some reason. She's given me that. She's also given me, I want to say, she's given me something like a care home. So I don't know if she worked in a care home. Yeah, she worked in care. She worked in care. She's given me like old elderly people. So I believe that she worked in care. And as I say, she had a really kind softness to her. And she's telling me that she was too soft for this world, if you can understand that. She was a medium. Okay. She was too you know how, what's the word, empathic? Very, very empathic, she took in everyone else's emotions, and she got to the stage in life where she didn't know other people's emotions from her own emotions, if that makes sense. She never learned to control, to stop picking up other people's emotions, and it was too much for her, if you can understand that. Your mother's in a care home now. Okay, perfect, thank you. That's what she was telling me. Okay. Okay, right. As I was just saying that, she's saying that she's with your mother. She's with your mother, and your mother sees her. Ask your mum, Charlene. Ask her, because she's telling me that your mum often speaks to her. So she's with your mum, okay? They've still got that closeness. They've still got that bond. They've still got that togetherness, if that makes sense. And this last wee while, she's been with your mum, because your mum's asking questions. Your mum is, I want to say your mum's got a faith, if that makes sense. But she's not doubting it. She's not doubting the faith that she has. I don't believe it's a conventional religion, that sort of thing. But she's got some sort of faith, but she's questioning it. She's not doubting it. She's questioning it, if that makes sense. And there's a difference. There's a difference. Wow. I've got a picture on the wall, and it just flew. It just flew up. Okay. So yeah. And there's a difference, and she's there to settle your mum's mind, if you can understand that. She's just saying that she's as I say, your mum, yeah, it's hard to explain what she's trying to say, but she's just saying that she just wants to be there for your mum, to reassure her, to let her know that and your mum knows that she's with her. That's the only way I can describe it, okay? But I'm asking for evidence for when she lived, that you would know, if that makes sense. The name Tracy as well. I'm getting the name Tracy. Did you hear that? That was my door just open and shut. Okay. She's given me the name Tracy, if you can understand that, Charlene, at all. Okay. She's also saying there's a celebration coming up or just gone. I think it's no, I actually think there's a celebration just gone. She's given me like a family celebration, and I don't believe it's Christmas that's coming up. I'm talking about a celebration, an anniversary of something, or it's maybe even her anniversary that's just gone by, but there's been something just recently to do with the family, okay? Oh, you're back on your own one, are you? Medium yourself, so energy is high. The energy is very, very high. As I said, I've never had that happening before. So yeah, she's just saying that the signs, your mum, she just keeps going back to your mum, and your mum knows she's there. Your mum knows that she's got that comfort from her sister. So yeah, right, give me something to say what happened. Something that happened years ago. Okay, trying to reconnect, that's it. Okay, what are you saying? Wow, amazing, I know. Okay, right. Right, she's given me a memory of, first of all, she gave me a memory of an old black bike. You know, the old-fashioned bikes, you know, the thin framed black old-fashioned bike with a really thin seat. First of all, she gave me that, and someone coming off of it went over the handlebars. And the handlebars were like I don't know, they're just thin and worn, if that makes sense. So it's quite old, I'm going back. And she, at the same time, she also gave me, I don't know if you ever done this when you were a kid, but she's given me a memory of mine. And it was us making like a carty thing, going down a hill on a cart that was just handmade, homemade, and I mean, how the hell we didn't break our necks on it, I don't know. But she's given me this memory to tell you. So there's a memory of either you or them going on this handmade cart, going down a hill, and it's coming to the bottom, hitting a curb, and everyone, well, I think there was 2 or 3, if it was the same as me, there was 2 or 3 of us in it, and we all went flying out. All ended up with cut hands, elbows, and knees, and everything else. And that's the memory she's given me. So she's given me one of my memories to say to you. So if you can understand that, no, someone's not happy, but I don't know. They've gone anyway. So, so yeah. That's the memory she wants to give. So if you can understand that at all, you know what she's on about. Brilliant, thank you. Okay. Someone, either yourself or someone around you, has problems with their breathing. She's making me very, very aware of my lungs at the back here, and she's given me, as I say, dryness down here. Has anyone around you got COPD or asthma or something like that? Because she's making me very, very aware of my breathing, okay? And I don't feel it's with her. I don't feel it's with her at all. Okay, right. So, she's also, I try to get it right. She's given, right, I'll explain it to you and you'll maybe know what I'm on about. She's given me a plate of soup or a plate of stew, okay? Now, when Spirit gives me a plate of food like that, it usually means, because I have dietary restrictions and everything else, it usually means that either yourself or someone around you has something wrong with their diet. And the way she's given it to me, it's like something's missing out of your diet. Does that make sense? It's like, I mean, I'm celiac, I can't eat gluten or anything. So usually it's something like that. But what I'm getting is something's missing in your diet. Rather than omitting something for your health, it's like something's missing and you need to add it to your diet, if you can understand that. It's like people, who maybe decided that they were going to go vegetarian or something, and then their iron starts going, so it's like add meat back in. Does that make sense? Not that I'm saying that that's what's happening with you, but yes, my mum's not eating well. Okay, well, she's talking about supplements, and she's talking about her, right, hang on. She's given her supplements, but she's saying give her liquid supplements because she doesn't take well to trying to swallow tablets. She doesn't like swallowing tablets at all, and that's what's making me feel choked in my throat with tablets going down. So she's saying get liquid supplements and put them into like water for her, or warm drink, warm milk or whatever, but don't give her the capsules because she can't swallow them, if you can understand that. Okay. She's also talking about, is anyone thinking of getting a camper van? Because she's given me like, you know, the camper vans with the cab or whatever, and then the bits, the high up bits. I don't know what you call them. It's like a motorhome. That's it, motorhome. Someone around you is thinking of buying a motorhome, and she's saying to get it checked out before you pay. You hand any money over, basically. And that's what she wants you to know. As I say, someone is definitely thinking of buying. In fact, they're not thinking, they are going to buy a motorhome. And she just wants you to get it checked out, make sure the MOT's up to date, and make sure everything's sort of working with it before you hand over any sort of money, is what she's saying. She's actually saying she came from an era when people were taken at face value, is what she's saying. She's saying, but it's a different era now, and she's saying just watch yourself. Okay. It's Romany Gypsies, right? Brilliant. Okay. Well, she's talking about, as I say, a motorhome, and that's probably the gypsy link, if that makes sense. But she's just saying she came from an era when, as I say, people took you at face value. You went with your gut. You learned to trust people. You did trust people, and there wasn't so many people out to con you, is what she's saying. She's saying, but it's a different world we live in today. So she's just saying, keep your pennies close to your chest. Keep your purse closed until you know exactly what you're buying. That's what she's saying. Okay. Yes, camper van with my daughter. Okay. Well, she's just saying just to watch herself with it. Watch herself before she hands over any money or anything else. Make sure she's getting what she's told she's getting. And with that, Charlene, I'll leave her love with you, because she's getting quite impatient with me. She's getting quite impatient. She's standing there. It's like she's, I don't know, drumming her fingers. I can hear someone drumming their fingers to say, come on, tell them what I need to be told. So I'll leave her love with you, and thank you so much for working with me. Okay. What about jealousy? No doubt. Okay. Well, just, as I say, just be careful. Okie doke. Right, Sharon, I don't know what time I'm supposed to be on till, so if you can write the time in the comments as I'm taking this other lady through, because there's a lady here wanting to come through. I've got no idea what time I'm supposed to stop. Right. I've got a lady here. Excuse me. I've got a lady here, and she tells me she could read tarot. She's drawing me to my tarot cards over there, and she's letting me know that she was bloody good at what she'd done. And she's saying that gift, is what she's calling it, that gift always made sure she had money in her pocket, is what she's saying. This lady, I want to say, this lady looked older than what she was. She had to reconnect, that's it. This lady had grey hair, and she used to have it up. It was quite long, and she used to have it up with Kirby grips in the back of her hair. And she used to wear a scarf around her neck. She always had some sort of scarf on around her neck. And she's telling me that, as I say, there's many a time the kids would have gone hungry if it hadn't have been for the fact that she could read tarot cards and read people like a book, is what she's saying. Anyone can understand that at all? Your Grand Red Tarot. Okay, I wonder if I've still got the same. No, it's not that young girl that came through. It would be their mother, though. It's the next generation up I've got. Okay, okay. Obviously, there's still a message for you then, if that's the case. This lady's telling me that as I say, she just keeps saying all the time that you can read cards, you can read people, and you can read spirit, you'll never ever go without, because spirit won't allow you to go without, if that makes sense. And she's saying that there was many a time she would go to people's houses and read for them, and she always came away with money to pay the bills and feed her kids. And that's what the important thing in her life was, to make sure her kids had a bed at night and food in their belly. The way she's talking, it's like quite old-fashioned, but it's like there's a lesson in there, is what she's telling me. There's a lesson in there. She's saying you can read cards, but not so much tarot, more like oracle cards, I would think. Yes, she would always read for people. Yes, definitely. And as I say, and because of this, and her mother before her taught her the same, because of that, she always managed to put food in her kids' bellies. When her husband was incapable of working in some... Now, hang on. How have I got this? At some point, her husband was incapacitated, is what she's saying. And it was times like that she thanked her lucky stars that she had this knowledge to feed her kids, if you can understand that. Okay, she had 13 children. Wow, it's no wonder she needed to go out and help, as I say, feed them. Absolutely right through my generations. Okay, must be 2 messages for everyone today on here. Yeah, I'm thinking that as well, Trish. So yeah, as I say, she's just saying to you to keep going with what you're doing. And any time that you find yourself in, anytime that you find yourself in a situation where you don't know, you're being pulled in different directions, you don't know where you're going, you don't know what you're doing, she wants you to think not just of her, but she's saying that her strength will pull you through, if that makes sense. She's just saying that this last wee while has been quite hard for you, and you know that she's sort of been there, if that makes sense. So yeah, right, I'm just going to read down. Right, Sharon, yeah, Sharon, when it's 5 to 4, I've no idea what time I have to stop, so if you tell me a time, please, and I will leave this lady's love with you, and we'll bring someone through for someone else, because as I say, I'm going to have to physically ask for someone else, because they're coming through thick and fast, if that makes sense. So I do have a gentleman here, and this man worked on the land. I don't want to say I don't want to say he was just I'm trying to think what land. He told me that he works on the land, but it's not like farming. It's not like farming. He was out... Okay, right. He was out digging ditches and things like that, so he worked on the roads more than the land, if that makes sense. Okay, and I want to say he was a hard worker. He was the type of man that he would take any job going, so that, as I say, he brought money home to his family. But I want to say that the majority of the time it was the roads that he got to work on. 4 p.m. Okay, so I'll just do this one quickly then. So don't worry if you run over time. Okay, no problem. So yeah, as I say, this gentleman was he worked on the roads. He worked with he's given me it like years ago, when around, I think I'm talking about the 80s, okay, maybe the 70s, the 80s anyway, when there wasn't so much machinery going about. There was machinery, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing like today that machinery does everything. There was actual men, as I say, digging out the ditches and cleaning out he's like cleaning out the gutters on the roadside and things like that, is what he's showing me. So if you could understand this man, he's given me the name. It's either Albert or Bert, but I don't know if that's his name. Okay, as I say, that's the name that came, so that's the name I've given him. He's also telling me that there was something wrong with his pinky finger. I think he only had half a finger. He's making me feel like half of it's gone. So this was chopped off at some point, okay? And he had really chunky hands. Really, really chunky hands. He's showing me chunky hands. He had no rings on his finger or nothing, not even a wedding ring. And he had his thumbnail was very, like, I want to say it's flat and square, if that makes sense, because he's showing me his hands. It's like his hands are important. Someone would recognise him through his hands, if that makes sense. Albert's my granddad. Perfect. Thank you so much. And although he had thick, chunky, like workman's hands, if that makes sense, they were hard skinned and everything else. He actually could be really, I want to say, delicate. He could fix things. He could like go into the back of, I want to say, watches and things like that, or radios, or he could go into the back of them and fix them. So although, as I say, his hands looked chunky and really worn and everything else, he had this way about him. You know, if someone in the house or whatever had broken a necklace, you'd give it to him and he could actually sit and fix it, even with the chunky hands, you know. He was very much a worker, a helper. He was very much, even in the house, he couldn't sit on his bum and do nothing. He had to be doing something. And as I say, even if it meant, as I say, fixing a necklace for someone, or in the back of a watch and fixing it, and just things like that, he had to be doing something. And that's what he's coming across as. Yeah, he just had ants in his pants. That's the words he's given me. He had ants in his pants and had to be doing something. The only thing he didn't like doing, and he'll say that, well, he's saying that himself, was decorating. He hated decorating. So he always using his hands and everything. Yeah. As I say, he absolutely hated decorating, and the decoration in the house was from year dot. If he's laughing, anything else he'd turn his hand to and do anything, but he couldn't decorate, and he's laughing about that. And that's bringing me to the decorating in, I want to believe it's your house that he's talking about. Trish, are you in the middle of decorating, or are you thinking of decorating at the moment? This is why he's brought the decorating in. It's like he's showing me a hallway that needs decorating. Does that make sense to you at all, Trish? To me, it looks like quite a large hallway, and he's saying you're thinking of decorating it, or you're thinking of doing something in this hallway, and laying a new carpet. And he's for some reason he's giving you his blessing and saying doing it to do it. You've been thinking about it, and now's the time to do it, is what he's saying. Yeah, you're thinking of decorating. Yeah, he's saying, well, now's the time to do it. While it's fresh in your mind, do it. Otherwise, he says, it'll just get put to the back of your mind and it'll be forgotten about. He's saying, so when you think about something, he says, just get up, go to the shop, buy what you need, and go and do it, is what he's saying. It's the bedroom, okay. It looked to me like a hallway. No stairs or nothing. I don't know why I said a hallway, but unless your bedroom is long and narrow, maybe. But that's what he's saying, to get up and do it. And he's laughing. He's saying he'll give you a blessing. He said, because you're doing something he didn't like doing. My bedroom is in hallway in bungalows. Ah, okay. So that made sense. Thank you so much. Thank you. So yeah, he's laughing and just saying for you to get on with it. And David will give you a hand. Do you understand that, Trish? There's something about David giving you a hand. David enjoys, definitely the name David, and he enjoys wallpapering and decorating. Whoever David is, if you can understand that. So, he's also saying that he gives you signs that he's around. He gives you a sign. Have you found a penny? I want to say a penny or a two. It's a copper coin, so it's a penny or a 2p piece, and the date on it is 1967, I believe. Well, look for a coin with the date 1967. I'm sure it's a copper coin. It's not a silver coin. It's a copper coin. David, yes. My brother, but my granddad brought him up. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, it's talking about this copper coin, and I'm sure the date on it, it looks to me like 1967. If you haven't got it, keep an eye out for it in your change. I said, and just keep it to one side. So something happened in 1967. I don't know what. It might be the date that someone was born. It might have been the year you were born. I don't know. But the date 1967, he's showing me the copper coin. So whether that's his way of telling me the date of 1967, or whether he's saying that you have a coin or will have a coin with 67 on it, I don't know. But 1967 means something. And I also want to say 1947 he's given me as well. He's given me the number 47, so I'm assuming it's 1947. Okay, so I will leave his love with you, and thank you so much for working with me, and thank everyone today, and apologies for anyone who didn't get a message. I sometimes go live on my Facebook over on Sarah McGeeckie Medium on Facebook. I hope you didn't mind me saying that, Sharon. So I want to thank you all for your support, and I'll finish off just now, but I'll maybe catch you again. Thank you so much for inviting me. Bye bye.